आप भी
Good morning to all the participants. I welcome you to the penultimate session. And today we have with us Dr. Pankaj Sharma, SAR is Principal Scientist and in charge PME ICR Directorate of Rapeseed Mustard Research, Bharatpur. And the topic of deliberation chosen is insect pest and disease management in organic production of sugarcane. Sir, you are audible as well as visible, and your presentation is also visible. Sir, you may start, sir.
so good morning everyone. I'm audible, Majid.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're perfectly audible and visible.
So good morning everyone. I'm Dr. Pankaj Sharma, Principal Scientist in DRMR Bharatpur, and all the participants who are today they are completing their 21 days winter school on the sugarcane, and I am the person of mustard. I am with you for the because you know that how in edible oils we are lacking in the country. We are not self-sufficient. So with sugarcane you have to go for mustard also. But not I am presenting that sugarcane and mustard. I am presenting for my one of my interesting topic on the insect pest disease management in organic production of sugarcane, because the time that many farmers they are now interested in the cultivation of organic different kinds of crops they are now growing. So hopefully some farmers will interact with you for the organic production of sugarcane. So what kind of insect and diseases I think you have covered in your another different lecture of disease or insect pest, but I am taking here as a whole of the agriculture in the particularly the crops, fruit plants, or all the agriculture crops except livestock for that particularly for the management of the crops with the organic kind of things. So first I want to start with this slide that what happened with this insecticides. What's the need to go for the organic? Because if you have heard the name of Bhopal gas tragedy, which was in the December 84, Union Carbide was responsible for that, and was producing one insecticide, carbaryl carbofuran we are using for the nematicide methomyl LD carb. And what happened when one leakage of the tank was there with, you see how many years before what was the condition of insecticide, how pathogenic they were. And you see today the new generation insecticides or fungicides, weedicides, which are creating lots of problems. So this is the one of picture when it was uh, gas tragedy was happened. And if we come to what we are doing with the organic production, if you see the insecticide, how much they are contributing, 60% in total of pesticide consumption, 60% are insecticides, 18% are fungicides. Then next to that, at par are the herbicides. Now it is also increasing. Then we are having only 3% biopesticides, which are can be used for the organic cultivation. So we are not having much area with the biopesticide. Even in insecticide and fungicide, from other countries comparison, we are very lacking. But the unjudicious use of these pesticides is creating lots of problems. If you see in different countries, you will find that we are in only 600 grams in India per hectare, and if you go to Taiwan, 17 kg per hectare consumption is there. And if you see in different states of country, you see that where the major area of cotton is there in Maharashtra or Punjab, where herbicide they are using. Other states also increasing day by day. So Andhra, they are having same cotton area is there. So maximum insecticide and pesticides consumption is there in particular these states. So always we are looking for the pesticides, and this is our first choice that we have to take the pesticide because of their effectiveness, their quick results, their easy availability. The farmer go towards the input dealer and just what he is asking, what supplement will be there available for the pesticide. Easy applicability, just you have to see that take 5 ml per liter of water, 1 ml per liter of water, or even now they are one pouch is there sufficient for one tank, or you can take this quantity, means there is easy applicability there. There is no need to go for some kind of calculation for the applicability. Then continuous use of these pesticides reflects in the toxicity hazards to the non-targeted animals. We know very well that how these pesticides they are having the toxic effects, because many animals, even the fodder which are we giving to our animals, they is also having the some residue of the pesticides. Then deposition of toxic residue or substrate and their persistence or long period is there. Elimination of biotic agents or farmer-friendly insects which are predator parasites, and many times the pollinators, honeybee is also there, which is affecting with these pesticides, leading to pest resurgence and resistance. You find that many times only one insecticide is not particular for controlling the insect, then combinations are there, and many combinations now available for the different pesticides. And contamination and pollution of environment is a big issue, and we require a effective alternative for these pesticides. So before coming to the next slide, I want just to show you one small video which I have think you have seen earlier also, but just I am showing you one video. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is it visible now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So I think that 2 minutes, I think that strike your mind also that what these pesticides are doing. And it's not that we are consuming much lot of pesticides in the country, but the unjudicious use. And even you see many parts of in Punjab, like Batinda, many villages are there. They are not having the even their groundwaters for the drinking for themselves. They are carrying the water from other places. So slowly we have to see these things also, that how we can go for the organic production, and this organic production requires the organic pest and disease management. So if you come to the organic agriculture, you know everyone is knowing that how it's enhances the agroecosystem health, including biodiversity, biological cycle, soil biological activity. So this is one of the definition of organic agriculture. And what is the benefits of organic farming is that there is no fertilizer, pesticides are used, so no harmful effect of chemical on our environment, on our human health, on soil, improves the productivity of land by healing it with the natural fertilizers, and provide the support to the diverse ecosystem, then highly beneficial for soil health. We know everything. The beneficial living organism used in the organic farming also help into improving the soil health also. So another some of the important things that we can promote the sustainability by establishing the ecological balance of the crop when we are using the organic farming. And you see another some of features of organic farmings are also there, including the reduce the greenhouse effect, global warming, and encourages the buildup of disease and pest which are harmful. So organic farming methods are very much beneficial. And if we come to the organic pest and disease management, I will take some of slides with the sugarcane also, but it is a kind of general presentation where you can see everything of the related to agriculture, how we can go for the basics of the organic pest and disease management. So what are here this slide is saying that we have to maintain a healthy soil, number one. Then we can go for maintaining a healthy crop, then use of natural pesticide, then suitable varieties, monitoring of the crop regularly, and promote the natural predators. So this is the overall basic thing of the organic pest and disease management. And what is the organic disease and pest management techniques? So it will allow an acceptable level of pest and disease damage, and encouraging predatory beneficial insect to control the pest, which are the our friendly insects are there, many predators, and encouraging beneficial microorganisms and insects, we will take one by one all these careful crop selection, choose of disease-resistant varieties, planting material. Then this is protects the crop during the pest migration period, pest regulating plants and biological pesticides, fungicides, no-till forming techniques such as a false seed beds, then rotating crops to different locations. So these are all includes the organic pest and disease management. If we starts from the managing pest and diseases, particularly in general, and we discuss also about the sugarcane. You know very well what are the insects which are harmful for the sugarcane are the early shoot borer, internode borer, top shoot borer, white grub, white woolly aphid, white fly, mealybug, scale insect, termite, nematode, and some others which are the some location specific insects are also there. Some diseases, particularly red rot, smut, grassy shoot, wilt, leaf scale, red stripe, mosaic, rust and cohec bong is another diseases are there which are having adverse effect on the sugarcane production. So what are now we are starting the use how we can use the organic management of the pest and diseases. So we have to understand the crop, pest and natural enemies. Any crop will be there. You have to understand what is that crop, how duration is there, what kind of agroclimatic conditions are with this crop, what are the major pest and natural enemies are there. So many times, many natural enemies are also there in the ecosystem, which will, if we are not, earlier we have not used the unjudicious use of pesticide, their population is also good, but many times the high use of pesticides that also decreasing the number of natural enemies. Proactive preventive kind of measures what we have to take and monitor pest there, because in the organic management we require the monitoring is the many very important thing where we without monitoring we cannot manage the different insect and diseases. And last is the use least descriptive reactive practices which we need required. So how we go for the monitoring? You see that field scouting weekly or often means farmer, we have to advise the farmers within a week or 2 weeks he visits the field, and after seeing the fields from the border, from inside, in between the crop, and where it kind of pattern is also there, M kind of pattern is there for scouting of the pest and diseases in the crop. Then use of pheromone trap crops, monitor pest which are beneficial are there. So any strategy in organic farming should include the methods of insect and disease avoidance also. Then managing the growth environment and the direct treatment. Many times due to different agroclimatic condition or microclimate of the crop, many insect and diseases are multiply very fastly. So we have to also check that kind of microclimate to the crop with the irrigation management or such other practices. So in avoidance, if you see that how we can avoid the different insect or diseases, crop rotation, we have learned from since our BSc agriculture how the crop rotation is very effective. Then field sanitation, always pathologist, you ask some pathologist, he will told that uproot the plant and burn. So field sanitation, crop residue management, seed quality. Many times, many resting spores or seeds are also affected with the different seed-borne diseases. Many times some other insects they are mixed with the seed. So quality of seed is also important, and by that we can avoid the insect and diseases. Weed management, these harbors the different diseases and insects, they are harboring the life cycle of that particular insect. So we can managing, if we managing very good weed management is there, we can avoid the insect and disease. Then forecasting, many times if we know that this disease or this pest comes during this kind of climatic conditions, so before that if we given farmers a forecasting method how they have to control, and now the season is or the time is for the this insect or disease, so by forecasting we can avoid. Then record keeping is always beneficial, as we are in research, we are having record. A farmer is also having any record when he is doing organic farming, then he will have some kind of record with him when he has shown what kind of insect disease he has seen, what kind of practices, because these all records will be checked by the authority which gives him the kind of stamp for the organic production of the crop. So managing the growth environment, the first thing which I am telling you, that how the microclimate we can managing small crop, then big crops, then some tree which can be wind can frost can be checked. So healthy soil, crop variety selection, intercropping, seeding rate, depth and time of seeding, traps, strips, tillage, rogging. All these are the practices, agronomic practices through which we can make our the growth environments. If you see in any crop, either in field crop, cereal crops or pulse crop, oilseed, wherever the high number of population of plants will be there, naturally there will be more diseases and more insects will be there. So row to row spacing and plant to plant spacing is also effective in managing the different disease and insects. So field hygiene, if we take the field hygiene and sanitation first, then what? Remove all the infected plants or plants that having to minimize the spread of the infection. Many times bacterial or viral infected plants, they are harboring the insect and diseases, and many times the transmission of the viral disease are with these kinds of plants. So remove these infected plants and clean all the tools that come in contact. Many times, like one in mustard club root disease is there. It's not much in this country, in the particular Assam, West Bengal is there, but in many Western countries, the club root is one of the major diseases, and many other diseases are there. Which, if you move one field to another field with your implements, farm implements, or with even your shoes, you will different implements. You will transmit from one soil to another soil different kind of disease. Burn all disease plant parts, not just cutting and throwing them away, but you have to burn or deep burrow that plant and debris, particularly for the organic fertilizer. So curative methods, what kind of, so managing natural enemies are one of the important things. So minimize the application of natural pesticides that will there, then allow some pest to live in the field. Many pests are there, we will see in the next slides. Establish a diverse cropping system, means mixed cropping. So only one disease or one insect is not causing losses to one crop. Include host plant providing food and shelter for the natural enemies. So how we can manage the field also? So natural hedges of indigenous shrubs that attract the natural enemies on the border sides. Then companion plants attract and provide the alternative food for the pest. Means from your main crop is there, just before that you can grow the companion plants, particularly in the cotton. Many times family plants kind of okra, they can grow in okra, then supporting, they are giving companion plant, different companion plants. Flower strips, many nematodes you can also manage with the flower strips. So these flowers also provide the food for the natural enemies also, and also improves the kind of marigold if we are using, then kind of managing the nematodes also. So if we take some cultural control in sugarcane, so what we will do for the termite and white grub? It's a major problem. Then remove the stubbles and debris of previous crop which are harboring this termite and white grub. Dig the termitoria. If you see many times, many places there big termitoria are also made by the termites, so you can destroy them. This is also used in the cultural control. Then for early shoot borer, root borer, deep summer ploughing is also effective. Interculture, hand weeding is important. Timely irrigation, light earthing up of the crop 3 months after planting is important for to escape from the shoot borer. Then grow onion, garlic or coriander as an intercrop. And in ratoon crop, mulching with trash reduce shoot borer attack. So this we can do easily with the cultural control of the shoot borer. Then scale insect is there, one of important insects. So for that we can use resistant tolerant varieties. Select the healthy and pest-free sets for the planting. Then keep the fields and bunds free from weeds. Avoid water stagnation. Many times the water stagnated is also causing scale insects to develop more. Then avoid the repeated ratooning. So every year if you are using the same sets, then it's also last year sets which are having the high infestation of the scale insects will develop in the new crop also. Then for nematodes, the deep plowing, solarization, important, flooding, crop rotation, organic manure. Then you can go for the apply the press mud 6 ton per hectare, or poultry manure, or neem cake, so that by these we can manage the easily the nematodes also in the sugarcane. For white woolly aphid, detressing of cans if infestation exists, then paired row system for planting important in sugarcane. Avoid excess use of nitrogenous fertilizer everywhere in every crop. The high susceptibility will be there with the if you are going for the high nitrogenous fertilizers. Use of organic fertilizers, wrapping of cans all along with the rows. Do not transport infected tops. So these all are the for white woolly aphid. Then for pyrilla, same. Avoid late application of nitrogenous fertilizers. So many practices are there. If you go for them, kind of timely sowing, timely harvesting, timely interculture operations, they are also affecting the in managing the insect and diseases, particularly in every crop. Then stalk borer, internet borer, then pink borer and classy borer. For that, we can go for the proper water management to avoid losing. Then detressing for mealybug resistant tolerant varieties. Number of varieties are there in sugarcane. Detressing of cans, drained excess water. So all this we can managing the sugarcane. For whitefly, everywhere is the problem for whitefly, and you see the avoid the water stress and water load condition. Avoid planting in no land dresses. Then for rodents, many times rodents is also a problem. So how we can manage the rodents also. Then different diseases. I have earlier told you red rot, smut, grassy shoots, resistant varieties. Then healthy sets are also there. Affected clumps we have to remove. Then bunding of affected field area. Then ratooning of the disease crop. So these all practices we can use as a cultural control. Even yellow sticky traps we can use for the aphid vector. So in general, if we come for the mechanical control after cultural control, view yellow sticky traps we can use. These can also useful, particularly in the aphid, not in the sugarcane. In many crops we can use these yellow sticky traps also. Then homemade some traps, kind of fruit flies infection is there in many kind of orchard plants, kind of guava, and that we can where we can use indigenous kind of homemade traps we can prepare with the bottles, empty bottles, plastic bottles. Then pheromone traps we can use, light traps using to attract the adders. So bait traps, you know that if for fruit flies we can use some kind of insecticide mixed or some sweetening of that water which attracts the fruit flies adders, and then adhesive traps we can use to thrips, to controlling the thrips and leaf hoppers. Light traps are there to attract the adders, moths, cutworm, bollworm, different insects in different crops. Then pheromone traps, we know that's pheromone traps we can use for different kinds of insect to attract the adults and to restrict their population. Then trap cropping, generally it is also using, and you see that in the picture very different kind of crops where nematode problem is there more in the particularly chili, brinjal, and all that crop cucurbitaceae. If we planted some crops kind of marigold in between, then that can also manage the nematodes also. And this trap crop are tremendous potential to control the other crop and pest also. So trap crop is one of the important. And for if we go for the sugarcane, then for termite and white grub we can take the light traps, can use for the attract the adults, and that will be killed in the kerosene oil, which will be taken some to the light traps which we are located. Then onset of monsoon, collect and destroy the adult beetles. In early shoot borer, pheromone traps we can use 4 to 5 per acre, and remove and destroy the dead herds along with the larvae. Then for stalk borer we can use here also the pheromone traps. In top shoot borer we can pheromone trap we can use. Then installation of light trap is one of the important. Even one light trap is sufficient for an acre of area. And then white flies we can use the yellow sticky traps. Then for scale insects, detressing is the one of the important which we can use as a mechanical or physical control. Then when we come to the biological control, means some kind of bioagents are there. Either it will be insect or some of fungal bacteria which are also helpful. And many times many insects easily and diseases managed by these kind of bioagents. And these bioagents, which are the natural enemies, are there. They are parasitoids and predators. They multiply themselves and destroy their host. They have no adverse effect on plants, environment, and other beneficial organisms. And early detection and timely application for the entire infected area result is the effective pest control with the bioagents. So many bioagents are there, which we will discuss now. We start with the bacteria, and you see the Bacillus thuringiensis, BT, how much powerful this BT was there. Its one gene is using for the BT cotton, which is now reduced to so much sprays in the cotton crop. And this BT is now available also in the formulation in the market. So by spraying this BT solution, we can easily manage the different kinds of insects in different crops. Then different marketed BT products are also there, where the different crops and companies which are selling this BT pesticides. Then viruses, particularly baculoviridae viruses, which are you see double standard DNA viruses there, particularly NPV and granulosis viruses are there. So how these are reacting? You see the NPV, it's available in the market, and where everywhere where this armyworm insects are there, other insects and larvae are there, we can directly spraying this. Particularly if you see in the chickpea, many insects are there, like of Spodoptera, which are causing losses to the crop even at the pod stage. So we can easily manage them with the spray of NPV. And there is one important thing, that using this NPV, again you have to take the killed insects which killed by this virus and collect them and store for the next crop season, where you can make a solution and can use as a NPV them again. So this baculovirus, different formulations are there, and for different crops, these are different NPVs are there which are using. And after bacteria and viruses, then fungi which kills the insects, such as Bavaria bassiana and termite and even white grub. This is a very important Bavaria bassiana. Many places with the popularization of this Bavaria, they are now successfully managing the termite in the different crops. Even in the using the pesticide, where pesticides they are using, they are also using this Bavaria bassiana. But particularly in the organic, if we have to control the after ITK methods with this termite, we can go for the Bavaria bassiana. And this Bavaria bassiana is very easy to apply. Only you have to take 50 kg of FYM or vermicompost and just mix 1 kg of Bavaria bassiana, put some gunny bags and sprinkle some water for 10-15 days. It multiply in the entire compost, and that can be easily used. Metarhizium municipally is one of the another important biopesticide, which is the fungus, and this used for the aphid, mites, thrips, and different sucking pests. And it is the available with the different formulations in the market. Then some of another fungi which are important and which are using kind of fusarium, causing the wilt, but it's also controlling many insects if you go for the spray of the fusarium. So many nematicides nematodes are also there, which are controlling. Even some nematode species are effective in the controlling the white grub also. Then after that, insects are helpful to managing the different insects. You have heard the name of Trichogramma. Trichogramma is very effective, and you can see on the right hand below picture where the white eggs are there. They are maturing eggs, and after 3 and 4 days, this Trichogramma releases from that, and you have to just take the tricho cards are there. You have seen on the top that this is the tricho card, where one piece you can cut and you can put in the plant with kind of a staple only. And after 3-4 days, when this eggs releases from there, they travel up to 5-6 meters, and they can easily manage the different insects, particularly even in the sugarcane also, different cotton, vegetable, maize, sorghum. It is causing which the insects which are harmful in the, particularly in the leaf area, where you can see the different species which are helpful of the trichogramma. Then these are trichogramma which are helpful, particularly in the cotton, sugarcane. You can use the trichogramma chilonis, which is there. Then last one is Metarhizium encephalus, which you can use for the bioagent in the sugarcane. Then Verticium legani is also for all sucking kind of insects, softwood insects we can use, even in the sugarcane we can use. And another some of BT species are all there, NPV also there, which can use in the different crops. Other important parasitoids using in the other than the trichogramma is also there. For managing the pyrilla in the sugarcane, you can use the Epiricania melanua, and on different crops there are different parasitoids which play active role to managing the different diseases, insects. So biopesticides and IPM products of the various crops you can see from this list, where you can use for the against the cotton bollworm, you can use the traps, lures, BT, NPV, trichogramma. For whiteflies, you can use the neem. So this all are the kind of a package of biopesticides, particularly in the organic cultivation of different crops. For sugarcane, if we take a package of the IPM, particularly of biopesticides for the different borers, we can use the different parasitoids are there, which are natural, some can we can rear them. Then predators are also there in the climate or all around our crop is there. Then entomopathogenic fungi which we can use. Then for whitefly, we can go for some parasitoids and predators. Then woolly aphid, all the three parasitoids, predator and entomopathogenic fungi kind of Metarhizium, Verticillium, Bavaria we can use. Then for mites, we can use the predators and entomopathogenic fungi. Then for blackbug. So for different insects, we are having number of parasitoids, predators, and different entomopathogenic fungi also. So how we can conserve the biological controls? We are having parasitoids, predators in our nature, but we cannot effectively conserve them for the biological control. So provide nectar and pollen for existing allies. Means in your field, as I have earlier I have told you, you have to make an area all around the crop or in some part where some kind of nectar providing or pollen providing kind of flowering plants will be there, which conserve these predators and parasitoids. Provide overwinter habitat sites, means many times when our crop is over, then there is no any kind of food for them. So we can make some kind of habitat site for them to conserve the biological control. So you have to grow some other crops so that these predators can be available in the field there. Protect habitat from the pesticide and tillage. Many times deep summer plowing we are doing, or we are doing number of plowings in the field, that is also damaging our different ecosystem or farmer friendly insects. So protect them from the pesticides. Pesticide we are not using now in organic cultivation, but you have to also minimize the tillage practices also. So mixed flowering plants provide the season-long nectar of the beneficiary. So we have to kind of, we can manage this predators and parasitoids. Then some predators, which are predators are then larger in the size too, harmful insects. So these are the lizards, birds, spiders, different insects are there. And if you see different kinds of chrysopids, very effectively they are managing aphids, particularly this chrysoperla is aphid they are managing. Mostly we have seen in the mustard also there. So chrysoperla, they are effectively controlling the aphids. Then ladybird beetle, everyone knows this is one adult and its larva. And this ladybird beetle, all alone one beetle can, even larva and adult, both they can eaten up to 50 to 60 aphid per day. So if their population is good in the crop, then easily they can manage the different harmful insects kind of aphids. Then this is the year-round beneficial habitat, how we can go for kind of umbelliferae, carrot family, some crops will be there, sunflower kind of family will be there, legume or mint will be there. Then this all the kind of chrysoperla, kind of ladybird beetle will be available in the field all around the year. Then some predators are, you can see all around you that overflies are there. Then particularly sylphid flies are there, which are causing damage to the aphid, thrips and other plant sucking insects. Then another's are the magnetid flies, mantids are also there. Then tiger beetles, you have seen the different kinds of these insects, you can easily identify them with your surroundings. Then damsel fly and dragonfly you have seen many times during the rainy season. Myrid bugs are also there, water striders are also there. Then technid flies are there. All these different kinds of predators, they are harmful for different caterpillars, cutworms, then armyworms, gypsy moth, and all other harmful insects. Then spined soldier bug, if you have seen in the, particularly in the beans kind of plants in there will be the spined soldier bugs which are killing another insect. Then pirate bugs are there, which are quick moving kind of insect is there. Then aphid maize, Potacia wasps, some wasps are also there which are eating some larvae. You can see in the picture some larvae is there on the leaf and it's eaten by that wasps. Then Bacanoids wasps are there. You can see that caterpillar is all around surrounded by white kind of wasp is there. So it's causing damage, and after 3-4 days it will be completely kill that kind of wasp, that harmful insect. Then soldier beetle is very commonly available everywhere. Then the roe beetles. Many times we know that these insects are there, but we don't know what they are doing. They are just eating their food from our kind of harmful insects. So these predators are very good. Even the birds, you can see this bird which you are seeing, that kitahari we call in Hindi, it's a red petal lapwing, which mostly picks the larvae from the ground level. In the chickpea, if you make some kind of strips there and putting some kind of T shape of kind of wooden stands will be there with a small and that if you spread some kind of grains there, kind of pearl millet or that one, and after that first it comes with that to see that kind of grains, but later on when some larvae will be visible, then it start to collect the larvae and managing them with eating the larvae. So particularly in the chickpea, tomato, and these birds are also helpful. Then so particularly you can see in the scale insect for the sugarcane, different predators for different other crops and different other pests. There are number of predators are there. You can see Chiloxorus niglitis, which is for the scale insect, and others are also there which can manage the different pests in different crops. So now the biopesticides, we are using the term pesticide for not for only that particularly which will be the chemical, but if we go for the biopesticide where we can use the different kind of plant extracts, some of microbes are there. So these all kind of mixed is the biopesticides. So how these biopesticides, what they are purchased, they are the environmentally safe, they degrade very fast, safe to parasites, predators and pollinators. There is no residue resistant and resurgence problems of the insects with the crop when you are using the biopesticides. Then this is the consistent suppression of the pest population. When you started biopesticide, slowly 3-4 years after, there will be no much infestation of diseases and insects in the crop. And these are also available in different formulations, and now market is also acceptable for biopesticide. Earlier, before 5-7 years back, we cannot find any kind of, only very early there was only neem pesticide was there, which was a biopesticide. But now you can see everywhere different kinds of biopesticides, number of biopesticides are available in the market. Different botanicals are there which cause the nervous axons and synapses, particularly the nicotine kind of botanicals which are releasing the nicotine. Then another some of hormonal balance, reproduction, behavior. So these are affects the different kinds of system of the insects with these different botanicals. And if you come to the botanicals which are of the kind of plant extracts are there, these are some of rotenone, nicotine, pyrethrins, which are widely accepted. And you see the different plants. Everyone is know the neem, that is the Ageritica indica, which is very much common now. Everywhere you can find the neem oil as a pesticide, and different other formulations of neem are also available. Then some of another plants which are available in our whole locality. It's not everywhere every plant will be there, but in different areas different plants are there which are not even liked by uh, any wild animals also. There are no grazing animals which like these plants. These all plants kind of Lantana, Calotropis we can use for the different kind preparation of botanicals. Thibacia, Pongemia, Datura, these all are the we can use for the making the biopesticides. Jatropha, Adosa, Carica papaya, these we can use leaves, fruits. So if you see the neem, how we can use them, it is very effective. You can found it in market also with the neem oil. And neem oil is very effective. Different sucking insects kind of we can manage easily. The second kinds of insects we can easily manage. Another some of botanicals which are traditionally used, even not in our country, in different countries they are using different plants extracts for the controlling the different insect and pests. Very recently I visited to KVK Jawra, it's in the Madhya Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh is one of the important state for the organic cultivation, and they have in their KVK of Jawra in the near Ratlam, they have prepared many formulations. They have prepared kind of panch patti or 5 leaves. Some extract is there where they are using a neem, aak, datura, some their local karanj, cow urine. They are using with the water, and they just stored in one of plastic drums for 1 month, 2 month, different time they have. Then another was the Jivamrit, taking the cow dung, cow urine, then some of sugarcane juice or jaggery, some besan, soil and water. They have prepared the Jivamrit. Then one is the Agni Astra. So all these kind of different astra, Neemastra means taking the neem and nimboli kind of fruit of neem, then cow urine, cow dung, and Brahmastra is the last for that of kind of large insects. So Brahmastra they are mixing different leaf extracts and different kind of another some cow urine, neem leaves, currant leaves. So different more leaves are there. Even in the first there are only 5 leaves, but here there are 7, 8 leaves are there. So there is no such kind of fixed combination that you have to take this ratio in this. And by using that one also, if you are using this any preparation, you need not to go for that. If it is 2 ml more, then it will be harmful to the crop. If you are taking some less, then it will be not effective. So by taking this kind of preparation, even a farmer can produce its own. He can take 1 or 2 drums like of that and can prepare this. And there is very not for only for your organic cultivation, they can also go for the cost saving, input cost they can save by kind of, if you see that sucking kind of insects, aphid, jacid, they can just kill by such kind of anyone you can use these extracts, or you even the simple water if you can spray on the aphid, that aphid will be removed from the place and that will be killed. So by using this we can also save the money of the farmer also, and all these plants need not to purchase from anywhere. This is all around his farm, so he can use them for the organic pesticide cultivation. Then one of important is the resistant tolerant varieties. So for the sugarcane particularly, for shoot borer, internode borer, top shoot borer, smart red root, there are different release varieties are there which are tolerant and resistant to the. So this resistant tolerant variety is also one of the particularly the organic cultivation, where if we go for these varieties we can easily manage the insect and diseases. Then pest control with the least ecological damage. So choose the least toxic, most selective material that will do the job, be timely. If a heavy incidence is there, then it takes some time. So if you go for preventive, it will be more better. Then spray trap crops is also there. All around your field, the trap crops is there. So spray on that one also. Sport spray for local infestations. If you see in 3-4 plants or 3-4 rows an insect, you spray that. You need not to wait for the entire field. Then avoid spraying habitat planting and spray when bees and other beneficial are inactive. Many times nicotinicoid botanicals where some tobacco is also used in these extracts. Many times this can affect the honeybee. So always do the spray when your pollinators are not in the field. So how we can go for the disease monitoring? So you know about the pathogen, which may be fungi, bacteria, or viruses, and you see what kind of life cycle is there, how symptoms are developed, how it is spreading, and what conditions which are favorable for the crop growth. So by that you can see that which disease will be more in the field. Field monitoring is one of important for insect as well as for diseases also. And some of microbial insecticide which we have earlier discussed, which have the kind of what kind of merits of the microbial insecticide should be like this. Then one of fungi which is very important, and you know everyone, that is the trichoderma. In many crops for the seed treatment, even in the tubers also, and in different managing the wilt and other soil-borne problems, we are using the trichoderma. And the trichoderma is also very effective. You know the antagonistic effect of this hyphae of the trichoderma, how it coils that pathogens hyphae and how it extracts the nutrient from that one and kills the harmful fungi. So using a kind of farmyard manures not require that you can take some kind of well decomposed or vermicompost, but you can take some older FIM, kind of 10-15 days old, and you can just sprinkle that trichoderma. You will find the growth of fungi of trichoderma. The greenish color of growth will be there on the trichoderma. Many times what happened with these bioagents, these are many times in the market, these are some of, you can say it will be expiry material, or you can say there is some kind of adulteration is there is no trichoderma in that chalk powder. So how you can manage any kind of disease? So this is also a check method that trichoderma is there or not in the culture. You can easily just take some 1-2 kg of FIM or vermicompost and just mix that trichoderma powder and sprinkle some water and put some gunny bag on that one. After 10-15 days, you will find some colonies growth of the greenish colonies growth will be there on the FIM. So it will be certain that there is a trichoderma in this culture. Otherwise, many times you will find only the chalk powder is there or expiry material is there. So this trichoderma is also effective on different nematode kind of Meledogani and others, where we can apply the trichoderma. Then improving the seed biopriming, we can use the seeds, even tubers we can take for the treatment with the trichoderma to check the soil-borne disease. And another after trichoderma is the Pseudomonas fluorescens. One of good PGPR is there, and it's having a good growth on the cow dung also. And this is a bacteria, so you see its growth will be bacterial in that such kind of field. So we can use the different CFUs are there. So colony forming units are there. So we can also use the Pseudomonas fluorescens for growth, good growth of the plant, as well as for managing the harmful kind of diseases. So now we are also have a responsibility to or a strategy to promote the bioagents and biopesticides, not in organic, even in the day-to-day use of the farmers. So bold and productive approach of government to ensure or reduce the dependence on chemical pesticides. Then treatment of seed and nurseries through biopesticide. No aerial sprays of chemicals permitted. Even in the organic farming, we have to check all kind of chemicals. Then we can say this is the organic cultivation. Otherwise, what happens when you are any spray or seed treatment done by the fungicides, then it's not a organic. And you have to be very safe regarding the organic cultivation, because many times the use of high kind of pesticides or kind of fungicides, many or lots of uh, material which are exported to different countries that was checked here only in the country. Even if you are saying that the high residue of the pesticides, particularly in the Alfonso last 2-3 days, then cumin from the Rajasthan that having the more residue of the fungicides was there, so that is not permitted to export. On-farm demonstrations are also to popularize these techniques to the farmers. Then exhibition charts. Now many KVKs they are doing all these best efforts to work with this use of organic control of the. Then this is the last one. How we can control many times in the storage also. Storage they are also having different taste and timely harvesting. Then when the soil moisture is in the control level, means the less than 8 or 9% in the grains, then you go for the storage. If there will be some higher kind of soil seed moisture will be there, that will give the different storage pest infestation. Proper threshing is important. Then cleaning and removing the traces, because many traces the different disease parts on different insects they are there. So if they will not properly cleaned, they will mix and they will cause the damages to the seed. Sorting to remove the damaged bag, beans. Even you have to in the some of crops where kind of pulses, if some damaged beans are there, you can remove them. Proper packing and storage, making the good staking and proper storage is also important to prevent storage pest and diseases, particularly during the your go downs. So thank you very much. It's I think I have taken on the time, and this is all not all about that sugarcane. It's all about the kind of your fruit plants, kind of your another crops which are maybe cereal, pulses, oil seeds, vegetables. Everywhere farmers they have started the organic cultivation, and this organic cultivation will require the organic management of insect and pest. So taking all these from I have taken from different sources, and this you have to know all about that organic kind of management of the insect and diseases. So thank you very much. If any query is there, welcome.
Thank you. If there are any questions, please ask. Are there any queries and questions? Please ask. Sir, there are few in the chat. Can you look at the chat, sir? Where you have 76 next to it. Next to it. 76 on the screen, then yeah, that is the chat. Can you scroll up so that we could see from the start?
So
can you scroll up?
Dr. Archana asked that what are the resistant varieties available against mealybug in the sugarcane. So you can take this from the, I think, from sugarcane person, because I am not having such particularly on this time having some, but you can ask from some sugarcane institute. You can find on their site which are the resistant varieties of mealybug are there. And kindly share your presentation. It's available, and I think Majid will provide you all that. And then Narendra Kumar, what is the efficacy of Neem Star Brahmastra against pest of sugarcane at what interval? We can. There is no perfect timing what interval should be there, but 15 to 20 days interval we can use them, and they are even effective up to the more than 15 or 20 days. So whenever the pest insect or disease incidence you look that is the higher side, then you can go and again you will see that if it is controlling some part is still remaining, then you can go again for the 15 or 20 days again go for the spraying. Dr. Gayatri, sir, in the life cycle, how many insect does parasitoid spray in its life cycle? I don't know which life cycle he's asking, sir, in which life cycle. Burning of all disease plant parts in the day discouraged, like yes, parali burning, very important issue, Dr. Archana. So, but it will be very small, not a big that we have to burn the entire field. If some few plants you have uprooted, you can burn them, or you can throw away from your crop area, nearby the crop area. So it would not be near to your crop. I have taken your issue that yes, early burning is not, we are not recommending, but when 2-4 plants are there, we can go, or otherwise we can just throw them away from our crop plants. So I think Majid, I have taken all the questions. One I have not understand, and I have seen.
Are there any further questions you want to ask, sir, via voice? If there are any, please ask.
Dr. Hemprabha is there.
Yeah, Dr.
Madam,
Hemprabha is there.
Madam, are you available? Dr. Hemprabha, madam. I think she's.
I think she's away from her computer, or she's put herself on.
Sir, you want madam? Hello.
Dr. Murali.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hello. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. What about you, sir?
I'm fine.
I'm available, Dr. Pankaj ji.
Greetings, madam. Greetings.
Now, madam is available. Sir, please talk to her.
Yeah. Madam, greetings. Namaskar.
Thank you. Namaskar ji.
I was with you just before one day only in pre-RMP training. So just I have seen you are conducting this training program very beautifully.
Yes.
So just I have seen your name, so that just I have to wish you only. So how are you, madam? Fine.
I'm fine. Fine. It was a very tough time actually, meeting both ends, training as trainee, trainer, plus our RAC.
Yeah.
So
Very
that
nice to
really,
see you.
I heard that question. Actually, there are many varieties which are tolerant to mealybug. That means with very less susceptibility. You don't call it as tolerant, with very less susceptibility to mealybug. So in the ICRIP system, we are identifying many clones. And if you are interested in some clone, we can say whether that is resistant or susceptible. Because all this information is available in the ICRIP reports as well.
Yes.
So the question asked by Dr. Archana.
Yeah. So I think Dr. Archana can take the names of that particular sources of the mealybug less susceptible varieties and jump from the madam.
Yeah. From
So
many varieties which are less susceptible. Yeah.
It's a common kind of presentation from my side. It's not a particularly for the sugarcane.
I heard, sir. It was very useful on a broad spectrum. Actually, this type of lectures are very essential because some of the participants will be interested in going for some like the production of endopathogenic some bioagents, bioformulations. So this would have given them an impetus to start such ventures in the coming future. Small in the entrepreneurship they can start. As these farmers also can do that, and this KVK scientists can give them more. They can empower them how to take up these technologies for the larger benefit for a clean cultivation.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you.
So if there is no more questions, Majid.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for being with us. On behalf of the participants,
Thank you, everyone.
Sir, on behalf of participants and on behalf of organizing committee and NADCL, we express our heartfelt gratitude for your presence and your presentation and such a lovely interaction at the end. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Participants can join back at 2:30 for the valedictory function. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.